Hello, everyone. This is Tetrafolium, and I'm here today to do a little bit of a channel update as well as fill in one of these grid things while they're still in vogue. I've been seeing these a lot on YouTube and other platforms, so I don't know. Figure let's get in it while it's still a thing. So as we go through and fill in some of these squares here, I will be talking a little bit about this channel and what I'm planning to do going forward. Nothing too scary, hopefully. But let's start with no ambiguity whatsoever. My favorite Pokemon, of course, is Heracross. I love this guy. No, I'm kidding. It's Jirachi. It's Jirachi. We know it's Jirachi. Although I don't love the Gen 5 sprite for it quite as much as I like Gens 3, 4, and the X and Y model. But that's okay. I kind of don't like the Gen 5 sprites for the most part as compared to other ones. I don't know. There's something a little more charming to me about the Gens 3 and 4 designs, but I understand that, you know, some compromises had to be made for the sake of the animation. So I'm okay with that. My second favorite Pokemon, those of you who have been watching for a while probably know, it is Clefable. Clefable's such a cool mon. I have a lot of connection to it because of my experience in draft leagues. Clefable is one of the Pokemon that I've drafted the most going into like Gen 8, Gen 9 draft. And it has always done very well for me. I really love that guy. I also like it competitively in Gens 8, 9 outside of draft, as well as other gens like 6, 7. You know, there you go. And 4, although I haven't played a lot of 4, but I do like Clefable in Gen 4. If you don't like that take, you can leave the video now, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that probably informs you about the kind of things that I like in a Pokemon team, if Clefable is one of my favorites for competitive reasons. I also do think it's a fun little Pokemon. I like the event with the Clefairies in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's kind of cool in that way. And its animations in like Pokemon Stadium are really funny to me as well. My favorite evolution, I think I'm struggling between Vaporeon and another one. I think I'm going to go with the other one. I'm going to go with Sylveon. Sylveon, again, a lot of competitive implication there. I liked it a lot in Gen 8 OU. Defensive Vaporeon, or sorry, Sylveon with Wish, Protect, Hyper Voice, Mystical Fire coverage in Gen 8. That was amazing. I really, really liked what it could do for my teams. It's like a Wish Passer. And I think that Vaporeon is kind of like that, especially in Gen 3. And Vaporeon's like got cool applications otherwise, but I don't know. I like Sylveon. I also like Sylveon's design. I think its colors are quite nice. I like the white and the pink and the I'm gonna say blue. I'm colorblind, so what what I might see might be a little different than what you might see, but like the blue accents on the ribbons. Oh, also, very, very clutch Pokemon in a Nuzlocke that I was doing with a friend. I guess you could call it a Soul Lock, if you know what that is. And we were really, really, really struggling to not lose early games to random Pokemon with Dragon Rage, because, of course, we played it randomized. But we had, like, some static encounters stayed the same, and one of them was Eevee, and we would always evolve it into Sylveon because we needed the Dragon Rage immunity. And yeah, Sylveon just happened to be the Pokemon for that. So that's really, really good one there. Starter. Okay. This is a tough one. I think if you asked me, like, when I was a kid, I probably would have said, like, Squirtle or something like that. I honestly was never really that deeply connected with the starters. But as much as I actually don't really like the new Pokemon games, I do like the new starters. Going from like gens, we'll say like 7 onwards. For the most part, I do think they're all pretty solid. And I think it's going to be between my favorite Gen 8 and my favorite Gen 9 starter, which one's my favorite overall. So I think I really do like Sprigatito. That's my favorite of the Gen 9 starters, but I think I'm going to go with Scorbunny, actually, as my favorite starter overall, which I know some of you might say that's a very weird pick, and yeah, it doesn't really align with a lot of the other things, because I like a lot of old gen stuff, but you know, Scorbunny is a pretty simple design, like kind of like after a soccer player, which I'm not a soccer player myself. I don't even really watch soccer. So like what is it about Scorbunny that appeals to me? I don't know. I guess when I played Sword and Shield, it felt like a very it felt like a very good Pokemon to use in game. Maybe more so than other Pokemon. I don't know if I have a reason for that, but I just liked it. Pyro Ball was a fun move to click. I like the animation on it too, and Scorbunny itself, like kind of hopping around as it's like sort of idle animation, I thought was very cute. So it's kind of what I like about Scorbunny there. Don't ask me what I think about the Gen 4 starters. You're not going to like what I have to say. Favorite legendary, I think this one is pretty easy for me. It's going to be Ho-Oh. I think it's a really, really, really cool design. I mean, as you can see with my favorite mythical, which is... should I put Jirachi again? Because yes, it's my favorite mythical, but maybe I need to put a different Pokemon to have a little more variety. I don't know. I like these like mythical creatures that like grant you like a wish, sort of. And I know that Ho-Oh isn't specifically that, but I think the lore of it is like if you see it, you're like blessed or something along those lines. It's where this like Ash in the anime theory comes from, when he sees Ho-Oh like in the the first or second episode after the encounter with the Spearow. It's kind of cool. And I like that it was a Pokemon that was existed before it was playable, in a sense. That's kind of a cool piece of like trivia and novelty to it that makes Ho-Oh a very cool Pokemon in my mind. But it also has one of my favorite moves, which is Sacred Fire. I love clicking that move. Even if I miss it, I love clicking that move. Cool, very cool Pokemon. Very awesome to use in Gens 3 and 4 Ubers as well, competitively speaking. Also Gen 6 Ubers, although the last time I played Gen 6 Ubers was before the Primals existed, so I guess X and Y Ubers more specifically. So maybe that makes me unk, I don't know. But to sort of derail this momentum we've got going on here, I want to talk a little bit about like what I'm thinking for content here. As you know, or probably know if you've been keeping up with me as of late, I have not posted a video in quite a while, like I think 2 or 3 weeks, which is I think the longest gap I've had for videos since I started making ADV content. It kind of fell at an awkward time for me because I had 4 tournament sets in 1 week. the first week of me not posting stuff, and that was a lot. And I'm also thinking about taking a break from at least like Gen 3 tournaments. Not like a super duper long one. I'll be back at least by the time of Revival. But I might not be playing in some of these like forum tours, circuit tours, like I have been, because it's just getting to be a lot. I was thinking about it like, oh, like if every tournament that I enter is a tournament that I could win. And I do believe that. I think I have the capabilities to win. But the problem is I think I'm wearing myself a little too thin, and if I'm not like focused on it, then I don't realistically have a chance to win. At least that's how I feel. And I like to dedicate as much of myself to that tournament as I can. That's why I'm not as active on posting videos when I'm in tournaments, because it takes a lot of prep time. It really does, if you are serious about it. I know I could say like, oh, maybe I'll prep less and make videos more, but then I would feel bad if I lost, not having given it my all into prep. So that's sort of the thing. It hasn't all been like stressful though. I went to a Smash tournament. I think it was Altitude Sickness 3 over in Boulder. It was pretty fun. I met Xtina in person, so shout outs to her. She's a cool person. And yeah, I didn't compete because I'm not very good at Melee. I would have just been throwing my money away. Although it would have been fun. It was fun to just play people. I was probably the worst player in the room though. Like everybody kicked my ass. But I did win one game off of Xtina's Falco, so, which is not her main. Credit to her, and she was probably taking it easy on me. But Xtina cannot say that she's undefeated all time against Tetrafolium in Melee games. Unfortunate distinction. But, and then also it was my birthday a few days ago, the 14th. So happy birthday to me. I'm another year older. I can rent a car now. Thank God for that, I guess. And I had some friends from my hometown over. So I didn't want to be rude and like record videos while they were over. We were hanging out and doing fun stuff. So that was great. But you know, now we're kind of back into the mundane stability of life after college and all that. Which I have not been in college since I've been making videos, so don't worry about that. These weeks have been, it's been hard for me to think about what do I want to keep doing. Like, yes, I'm going to keep doing the like Pokemon and ADV style videos that I have been doing that have been pretty successful for me. But we are getting to a point now where this somber music is playing that I am running a little bit low on mons to keep doing, and I thought about like, well, what if I revisit more Pokemon? Like, I could easily do more Tyranitar videos. I could easily do more Metagross videos, more Celebi, like these Pokemon that I've already done one video on that have much more to offer. But and as well as some of the other Pokemon I haven't touched, like I haven't even completed all the OU Pokemon. But I wonder if maybe it's getting too stagnant or stale in a sense. I tried to inject a little bit more into each of the videos that come up. And maybe I will try to think about some more things to inject into those, but I don't want to like do these out of like obligation, you know. I want to do them because there's something cool to say, or it's fun for me, or things like that, which, you know, to 2 degrees, those are still true, but I could see myself saying eventually, like, I'm just making these to make these at this point. So what can we do after we like have fully saturated that style? Well, we could go on to other generations. That's a possibility. Um, and it's one that I've been asked about before, and I'm not opposed to doing that, but I I would need the strong desire to play other formats, and I have been dabbling in some other formats as of recently. I'm still gonna stick around with ADV. That's still my stomping grounds, my home, as it were. But I, for the sake of like maybe expanding to that content, I would not be opposed to doing more generations and keeping those going, kind of like what I did with my Ho-Oh video, where that was actually in DPP Ubers rather than ADV Ubers. But I've also thought about trying some slightly different styles of content. Like I wear my influences on my sleeve, as you know. Like I've for a long time I was referencing Electric Wind Girlfriend on my title slides, which I do think. I mean, I really appreciate Electric Wind Girlfriend's presentation. I'm not so interested in VGC, to be honest, but the way that she puts her videos together is of enough interest to keep me watching, so that's good. But like BKC of course has definitely some influence on my style of content. But I've been watching some other PokeTubers that maybe I could incorporate some of their stylings as well. Not that I want to steal their stuff. I want to do my own thing, but maybe take some inspiration from them. Like Big Yellow, I think is a very cool PokeTuber who's got a lot of really interesting stuff. I've just recently discovered Dawnbuster as well, much smaller content creator than some of the other ones that I've mentioned, but very, very knowledgeable. I think mostly in the GSC tier. At least that's the videos that I've been watching. I like their historical approaches and contextual approaches to discussing Pokemon and formats. And maybe I might try to do some videos in that sort of regard. Granted, I don't have as I've been playing for a while, right? I've been playing competitive since X and Y, but I haven't been like competitive, if you sort of get what I mean. For a while, I really started getting like competitive, playing in tournaments, things like that, being involved in the community when I kind of got into ADV in like late 2024. So I may need to up my knowledge base a little bit before I try my hand at that style, but that's something I could do. I liked the like top 10 abilities that I did with Benji, and I might be doing a video that is in that sort of style in the not too distant future as well. So and if you guys have more ideas on what to do, like maybe like moves or like Gen 2 Pokemon or something, I don't know, something like that, we could figure that out. But yeah, let's go on and complete more of this square. Pseudo legendary, I think in my Q&A from many moons ago, which nobody watched, which I don't blame you for not watching, because who cares. I think I said Metagross was my favorite, and I think I'm going to keep with it. I think Hydreigon is a close second. I also like Tyranitar and Salamence. Actually, no, I think I did say Salamence, but I think I've changed my mind that I like Metagross a little bit more. The Steel Psychic types, man, they're so good. Sub-Legendary. I don't know what that is. Let me look that up. Does that mean like non-box legendaries? Okay, Cerebi is saying like Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Raikou, Entei, Suicune, Latios, Latias, the Regis, the Lake Spirits. Okay. Okay, so it's like your non-restricted legendaries, I guess. Um, okay. Oh, and Ultra Beasts count. Well, I don't know if I would say. I don't think one of the Ultra Beasts is one of my favorites. I'm kind of okay. I have to think about this one because I like Zapdos. I like Latias. I like Landorus. Um, I like Pheasantipity as well, and Ogerpon's pretty cool. Um, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna defer to my draft league roots a little bit. I'm gonna go with Landorus. Landorus Incarnate was my first pick for one of my drafts, and that was a really fun Pokemon to use. Like, yeah, the Life Orb Sheer Force stuff is pretty cool, but like when you can do some crazy stuff like bulk up Hammer Arm, or I did a game where my opponent's only ground resist was Corviknight, and I brought Gravity Landorus to that match. That was really fun. Um, but yeah, but Landorus has got it's got kind of a cool design. It's well, I know that this design kind of gets uh, because Thundurus and Tornadus look so similar, it kind of gets crapped on. But like, I like the tail and the hairstyle of Landorus in specific, and in a vacuum, I think it's a really interesting design. Um, when put alongside its brothers, maybe not so much. Maybe it's not quite as interesting. But I do think it's a cool Pokemon, just generally. Don't pay attention to the screen too much as I'm moving things. But yeah, Zapdos probably would be second for me. Oh, maybe I do just put Zapdos there. You know what? I've changed my mind in real time. I'm putting Zapdos there because of Pokemon Go, Team Instinct. Let's go. All right, Mega Evolution. I have to remind myself all the Megas. It's been a long time. Ooh, Yan Mega? No. In XY, I played a lot of Ubers, and I really liked Mega Mewtwo Y. But I had a team where I had Mega Mewtwo Y and Mega Lucario on the same team, and then I would Mega Evolve whichever one was more beneficial for the matchup, which was kind of a fun way to play. I don't know if it's the most optimal way to play, but it's something interesting that I feel like a lot of people did not do. And I've just saw who I think I'm gonna pick. Not Mega Clefable. Gosh. And I think you'll hate me for it, but Mega Sableye, I think, is my favorite. I really like the interplay of having a prankster Pokemon in base that turns into a magic bounce Pokemon when it Mega Evolves. The interplay between those abilities is really fun. And yes, I know it's a stall staple, but you know what? I like stall, so you can log off the video if you hate that. Gigantamax, I think Gigantamax kind of sucks. I did not like it as a sort of generational gimmick. What do they call them? G-Max here. The Fat Pikachu's kind of fun. I played in a VGC draft where I was using Fat Pikachu to spread paralysis. It's kind of interesting. Cinderace is kind of funny. I mean, Orbeetle's really funny, but I don't know if I like it, per se. Grimmsnarl looks ridiculous. I forgot what all these Pokemon looked like. Oh, yeah. Blastoise with, like, the giant cannon on its back. It's kind of cool. I'm not that picky about these. I think another Pokemon that I made a lot of use of was G-Max Colossal. If I wasn't gonna G-Max the Pikachu, I G-Max the Colossal, and I think I'd Dragapult like to do that Surf Steam Engine type thing. So I guess I'll put Colossal. I don't feel strongly about this though. Ultra Beasts, I do feel maybe a bit more strongly about. I have not played with the Ultra Beasts in quite a while, but when I did play with them, I do remember this guy, Buzzwole, being really fun to play with. I really, really liked Bulk Up, Leech Life, Drain Punch type stuff, but like it's also a really nice like Choice Scarf / Choice Band with its strong mixed cover, well not mixed coverage, but coverage combination, stab combination of Bug and fighting. It actually does quite a lot. I think Bug is a very underrated type in general, both defensively and offensively, but like in tandem with fighting, it's actually quite nice. Now, yeah, flying. Okay, flying kind of gets you, but I think that's okay. That's acceptable to not be able to hit flying types in gens where Stealth Rock is so common, especially in Gen 7 when there's no heavy-duty boots mucking around. So, yeah. Paradox Pokemon. Okay, let me remind myself what all of them are. Because, yes, I played Gen 9, but it's been a little bit since I've been in it. I know there's all the Iron Pokemon, and yeah, like Iron Valiant's kind of fun to play with, but I'm not sure if that's moving the needle for me. If that's one of my more favorite ones to mess around with. Pulling up. The past Paradox Pokemon are going to be probably where I'm going to go with this one. I don't hate Screamtail. Like I think it's pretty funny. You see this thing, and like it's got this cutesy sort of dopey smile on its face, and then you're like, I don't know, should I like pet it? And then it like screams and turns into like this like almost like a horror movie type thing. It's got like a gremlin-esque quality to it. I kind of like that. But I don't know if I don't know if I would say that's my favorite. There's Fluttermane. I don't think I'd say Fluttermane. Iron Jugulus. That's everybody's favorite, isn't it? I think actually Iron Mugulus is more popular nowadays. Slitherwing became a kind of like a joke but among my draft league friends, and I do think when I see it, I laugh. Trying to think though. Do I want to go with Screamtail? There's some deliberation here on this one. I guess what like Miraidon and Koraidon count. Iron Treads is pretty cool. Ooh, actually, the Iron Hands, maybe? Iron Hands is really, really sick. I think I'm going to go with Screamtail, actually. Yeah. But Iron Hands is a very close second, but Screamtail, cool Pokemon. I like these pink things that use Wish, I guess. That's that's how you make a Pokemon that Tetrafolium likes. But yeah. Other like channel things. We're doing pretty good on the subscribers. We got to 1,500, which is more than I thought I would get when I started making videos. But you know who's pretty close in subscriber count to me that I think we could overtake is good old PokeZets. Fuck that guy, by the way. No, I'm kidding. I appreciate what he has done for this community, and I appreciate his company as a friend. But, I mean, it's time, right? I have to beat him. I beat him in Battle of the Week, and I got to beat him in subscribers. So Maybe I should be putting out more videos so that we get more subscribers so that we can beat that guy. But we'll get there. We'll get there. And when we do, I'll make him I don't know, grovel at my feet or something. Baby Pokemon. This is not a category of Pokemon that I often think about. I could go with Cleffa, because it's the baby form of my second favorite Pokemon. And I might just do that, but I think Igglybuff is cool. I really like Igglybuff from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, who, spoiler alert, evolves into Wigglytuff. I know, huge spoilers there, but that story is really, really nice. I think it's one of the... I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite special episode. Well, maybe not for me. I think you could probably guess which one's my favorite, but that's a really good one. It's easy to pick a least favorite, I'll tell you that. They kind of stopped doing baby Pokemon after a while, huh? There's like Toxel. Yeah. But like since Gen 4, they really haven't had that many. But you know what? I think I do know which one is my favorite. As much as Cleffa and Igglybuff are cool, I think I'm gonna go with this guy who is I told you not to ask about my favorite Gen 4 starters or what I think about the Gen 4 starters, but to me, I consider Badoo to be my Gen 4 starter of choice. So take that as what you will. Fossil. Okay, what... I mean, Dracovish is kind of funny. I didn't really like using Dracovish as when I was playing Gen 8. I did kind of like playing against it because I liked using Seismitoad. And I honestly didn't hate the metagame where Seismitoad was around. Like, I think a lot of people were giving Gen 8 a bad rap. Like, oh, you have to use a crappy RU Pokemon so that you don't lose to Dracovish. Which, Frank, I think is a little bit overblown. I think, you know, there are, like, Ferrothorn, for example, is a decent check. Cloyster was a decent check. Like, you're not completely screwed against Dracovish if you wanted defensive counterplay. But yeah, Seismitoad was the most stable of counterplay into Dracovish. But you know what? Like, it was a fun Pokemon to use. I like a defensive Pokemon that sets up the rocks and it's kind of like Swampert in Gen 3. Now, yeah, Swampert's got a little bit more like of its own going on for it. It's got its offenses are more appreciated in Gen 3 as compared to Gen 9. And Seismitoad not faring much better in that regard. And like, it can make some decent progress depending on what sets you're willing to run on it, like, you know, Curse, for example. But whereas Seismitoad is a little more tight cast into, like, this defensive pivot with Stealth Rocks and all that. But, like, you know, I mean, I don't care if the Pokemon is not in a vacuum great. I think what's really cool about Pokemon is the interactions that take place. That, because of a Pokemon like Dracovish, Seismitoad is able to be used. I view that as a positive. Now, I acknowledge that Dracovish was quite restrictive on the builder, and you yeah, Seismitoad might not be the only answer for Dracovish, but, like, you had to have an answer for Dracovish, otherwise you were getting swept. So I did support it getting banned. Not that I managed to get the Suspect Rex for that, but I wasn't sad to see it go, per se. And I spent all this time talking about Dracovish, and I'm not even going to pick it as my favorite fossil Pokemon. I think I'm actually going to pick its cousin, Dracozolt. This is a really fun Pokemon to use in Gen 8. I mean, Hustle is a little bit of a gamble, but come on, that Hustle boosted Bolt Beak, that's so fucking fire. And I liked that it was a Pokemon, a rare Pokemon in Gen 8 that could run a mixed set. Now it's left cousin, Arctozolt was probably more the mixed attacker than Dracozolt was, but having like coverage Fire Blast to hit like Ferrothorn, it's kind of fun. It reminded me a little bit of like your Gen 6 or 7 days where you would have a hidden power, like hidden power ice or hidden power fire on a physical attacking Pokemon so you don't lose to Lando / Ferrothorn. Reminds me of Gen 3. Not that I had played Gen 3 at the time that Gen 8 was current. You know, I'm a new blood into this sort of metagame. But I like these like mixed options on these Pokemon, like your Pursuit / mixed Tyranitar running Brick Break, or your mixed Salamence running Brick Break, or some other special attacker that runs Brick Break so it doesn't lose super duper hardcore of Snorlax, Blissey, Tyranitar. But like even like Pokemon that will run like a random hidden power here or there, like a mixed Metagross running hidden power Grass to hit Swampert, or Thunder Punch to hit Skarmory is kind of cool. But regardless, Dracozolt was probably the most fun I had playing with the fossil Pokemon. Aerodactyl's cool, I guess, if you like flinching. But trying to think if there's even another fossil Pokemon I would put up there. Did Gen 7 have fossil Pokemon? I don't even think so. Archon's kind of cool. Or Archeops, its evolved form. But its ability sucks, so that kind of dampens the mood. Shiny Pokemon, okay, this is a category of Pokemon that I really don't think about that much. I'm not that into the shiny aesthetics. In fact, I think a lot of the normal like colors for the Pokemon look better. But you know, there's some novelty to it. You obviously you get a little excited when you see a shiny Pokemon because it's so rare. The first shiny Pokemon that I caught, other than Red Gyarados and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Gold Crystal, Silver, you know, was actually an Abra in Pokemon Emerald. I was just playing through. I was walking through one of the routes, the early game routes, right outside of the cave where Whismer's in. I don't remember what route it is, north of Rustboro. And I run into an Abra here, and then I see the sparkle thing on the screen. I'm like, oh, that's a shiny Pokemon. And I was like, well, it's Abra. It's going to teleport if I don't throw my only Pokeball that I have. Or maybe it was a Great Ball. I remember I only had one Pokeball, and it was either a Pokeball or a Great Ball. Maybe a Great Ball. And I was like, well, I guess I got a Pokeball. I'll throw it, see if I catch it. And I did catch it. It was kind of cool. But I'm not to say that I really like Abra's shiny all that much. Let me take a look through some of the shinies real quick. See if there's anything that speaks to me. I mean, Black Charizard's kind of cool, but not necessarily my favorite. Some of the shinies suck. Like Blastoise, I mean, I'm colorblind, so take this with a grain of salt, but like Blastoise doesn't look any different really to me. It kind of looks like a little more washed out, I guess. Clefable's cool. I like the gold-tipped ears, but I don't know if I would say that's my favorite. Golden Arcanine's kind of cool. Green Machamp. Actually, that's a sick one. I like that. Green is my favorite color. Ironic, because I'm red-green colorblind, so maybe red is actually also my favorite color, and I don't even know it. Sea King looks kind of cool. I like the brighter orange that it's got going on. Oh, we're going to be here for a while if I'm just scrolling through them all by Pokedex. What's something that I could talk about here? Who's excited for Gen 10? I think I will be trying out the competitive when it comes out. Maybe if it's a fun generation to play, we could be making videos on that. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't thought of the prospect of, oh, new generation, and I'm not starting from literally square one with YouTube, and there's going to be a demand for Pokemon content, and competitive especially. So maybe I carve out a niche in that region, but let's stop being so cynical with our Pokemon here. We're just here to... We're making videos to have fun. I'm not making enough money to quit my job or anything here. There's Pinkercross. Not the content creator, the pink hair across the shiny, but the content creators. I like his videos. That's what I'll say about that. Oh, maybe it's Shiny Celebi because of the association with Mystery Dungeon. I think that's going to be a strong contender here. Oh, wow. That's what Lombre and Ludicolo look like as shinies? That's cool. You're going to have to do a little bit of imagination with me here because I'm not showing you the screen of all the shinies. But what else am I thinking here? I think Lunatone's shiny specifically in Gen 3 looks really cool. It's like blue eye is very, very alluring. But I don't know if I'm just putting that over Celebi quite yet. I do like the shiny Latios and Latias. Those are cool. Shiny Cramorant, actually. That's a solid one because it looks like Ho-Oh. That actually could be a contender there. I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna go with Celebi, but Cramorant's probably number 2. Pika clone. Okay. This might be another strange take. I know this is not a very popular one, but I actually like Togedemaru. I think Togedemaru is a fun guy. He's a cool low tier Pokemon. Like access to like Spiky Shield, Encore, U-Turn. It's all really nice. Zing Zap is a fun move to click. Yeah, I think it's also I like his round design with his big ears. Very, very cool. Morpeko fans. That guy's not for me. I'm just gonna say that. Alolan forms. I think I'm not gonna deliberate too long about this. I think it's gonna be Alolan Persian. I like its round face, and I like fur coat and parting shot as a combination. Galarian forms. I mean, there's the infamous Galarian Darmanitan, who honestly I thought was fun to play against as well. Like post Dynamax, like yes, it was pretty broken, but like I don't know, I just had fun playing, and I didn't even play with it that much. I played a lot of the team that I was playing was like, I think Finchinator made it. It had like Conkeldurr, Corviknight. Corviknight was like on every team that I built or played with in Gen 8. But yeah, that Conk Corviknight team, I think it was a sample team. I don't know if it's still a sample team. That was fun. It probably is. It probably isn't still a sample team, but yeah. I also liked there's like a Sylveon Cloyster team that I built. That was fun. Free King's Rock ban. However, I didn't use King's Rock because I didn't think it was that good. I liked Focus Sash a lot more. But let me remind myself all the Galarian Pokemon. I think it might be Weezing. You might see a pattern here that I like fairy types quite a bit, which I'm not going to deny it. I do like a lot of the fairy types, but who else is here? Ooh, Galarian Corsola. That was an interesting Pokemon because it did used to be OU ranked. And like the combo of Will-O-Wisp Strength Sap was kind of cool, but I don't know if I'd say I like it that much. Galarian Moltres is sick. It's the best of the birds, in my opinion. Obstagoon, I don't know if that counts as a Galarian form, but that was a fun Pokemon. I used that a little bit in competitive as well. But oh, okay. I found my guy. Once again, you may be sick of me and my takes here, but I really like Galarian Slowking. When it was UU in Gen 8, I built a team around a core with Galarian Slowking, Incineroar, and Serena. That was a really fun team to play with in UU. However, Galarian Slowking was correctly identified as a really good Pokemon and moved up to OU. And Serena was, I guess, also correctly identified as a not very good Pokemon and slid down to RU. Incineroar is still holding it down the fort in UU, but because I didn't have my guy Galowking to go with him, I had to abandon the tier. Unfortunate, I know. Scrolling down here, I'm gonna, yeah, there we go. We're gonna do some live action editing here as I oh, there's not a good way to get both of these on screen. You're just gonna have to pretend that this part of that bottom right part of the screen doesn't exist anymore. Maybe we'll go back up just for a little while longer here. Hisuian forms. I'd never played Legends ZA, or Legends Arceus. It didn't really like appeal to me, at least. Like, yes, I like the novelty of like, oh, Pokemon played in a slightly new style is cool, but I don't know. Like, I liked some of the Pokemon spin-off games, in specific Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but like Ranger's fun. I like the concept of things like Troze, although I don't know if I necessarily like the gameplay personally. But I do like it when there are spin-offs of Pokemon. It makes so you can do a lot more with the franchise, and the fact that we haven't had very many spin-offs since like Gen 4, 5-ish is a little disappointing. But the Legends is not quite what I'm looking for. I also don't love playing games on my Switch anymore, which is a little unfortunate because all of these Pokemon games will be on the Switch going forward. So it is what it is. But yeah, let me remind myself all the Hisuian forms here. Do I like any of these? Not really. I had to play against a lot of Hisuian Quillfish in draft. Does that mean anything? Not really, but I guess it's kind of cool that Zoroark is normal ghost, and that's kind of an insidious type on a Pokemon with illusion as an ability, but because it's got so many immunities, right? But I don't know if I don't know if I'd give it that just for the novelty of it. I don't feel very strongly about this category of Pokemon. I guess I'm gonna go with Avalugg because it looks funny. Yeah, that's basically it. Paldean forms. Oh my gosh, what's up with all these forms, man? I don't even care anymore. Although I do like the Tauroses. So in my draft league, I was known as the Tauros guy because almost every one of my draft teams had Tauros on it. And I cycled through literally all of them, except for Cantonian Tauros, because that one kind of sucks. But like the Intimidate and Fighting type was oftentimes a really good glue for a lot of my draft teams. So of them, I think my favorite was probably the Fire one. Gouging Fire, of course. Where are ya? Combat? No. Blaze. But I do like the design of Aqua the best. I like the blue accents on the under part of the mane, I guess. Is that what we're calling that? Not to say that I don't like the Blaze one, but I do like Will-O-Wisp, so. I like Wave Crash, though. That was kind of solid. My favorite generation. Okay. I guess let's use we're going to use the grass type starter to denote this. There are a lot of angles I could take. My favorite competitively is 3, obviously. Duh. But my favorite casually is probably Gen 5. So I have to weigh that a little bit. I do like Gen 3 casually quite a bit. Gen 5 competitively, I'm not that well versed in. I have not played a lot of it. I've liked the games that I have played, although it does feel very matchup like swingy. Like sometimes you load and you see your opponent's team and you're like, this one's going to be a tough one. Scizor is going to get 2 kills guaranteed, or if I lose this Pokemon, I'm going to get swept by Volcarona. And that's a little bit, it does feel a little restrictive. At least the games that I have, the very limited games that I have played. And it's also the generation where stall is the least common and effective. So maybe there's some knocks there. I want to give credence to the casual element of it. I do think that Black, White, Black 2, White 2 are some of the most fun Pokemon games to play and to replay, especially. And I like that Black and White kind of did their own thing with the Pokedex. Like they kind of just made their own new Pokedex and said, you're going to have to use the new guys and like it. It makes the region have a lot more of a like unique identity that makes it memorable. Whereas like, you know, even like Emerald, right? You're going to use a lot of like your favorites from Gen 1 or Gen 2 that you find along the way. And then it makes it feel a little less like, oh, I'm enjoying a Gen 3 experience. If that makes sense. I mean, yeah, you can, there's still plenty of stuff like the mechanics of Gen 3 are very fun, and that's what makes the competitive very fun, in my opinion. But yeah, I do have a little bit of a soft spot for Gen 6 competitively because it was where I started, although I hate I hate it casually. So I guess I'm gonna go with Gen 3. Let's get Sceptile on there. Okay. My favorite game? Games on here? Casually speaking, I guess it might be Black 2. Which I know that kind of contradicts what I said I like about Black, right? Is that they force you to use the Unova Pokedex. Not necessarily true with Black 2, right? Because they introduce all the old Pokemon back into the dex. Although, that's where you get the mileage out of it, right? You've forced everybody to use all the Unova Pokemon in the first game, and it's like, okay, I'm getting an attachment now to these new Gen 5 Pokemon. And then you sprinkle them in the new Pokemon, or like, sorry, the old Pokemon, and it makes them feel new again. So, like, that's fantastic. If I'm going mainline game, I'm going to go Black 2, but doesn't say mainline game. It just says my favorite game, and this is Pokemon, so we're going to go with Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, if I can find it. There it is. So, caveat, my favorite casually is going to be Black 2, but, or for the mainline games, but my favorite Pokemon game is Mystery Dungeon. My favorite type, I think it's going to be Steel. Fairy and Water are up there. I mean, I love the defensive types, obviously. But yeah, let's go back to the Pokemon here. Where are they? There it is. I guess Registeel is like the most Steel type Steel. Or the most Steel type. It's got it in the name, you know? So we'll use that. Item. Like, if I type in leftovers, does it come up? No. I don't know how I'm going to depict that here. But my favorite item probably is Covert Cloak. How do we... There's no manga that is called Cloak. Like a game, another game here. Cloak of Darkness. Is there a Covert in here? Covert Ops? I have no idea what any of these games are. Look at that. That's awesome. Let's go back to Cloak. Here, Cloak of Darkness. There we go. That's so lame and gross and nasty. Favorite male trainer. Ooh. From Gen 5, Charles, the Heartbreaker, who does the rotation and triple battles, he's kind of cool. Whereas... if I type in Charles... I don't know what Choo Choo Charles is, but that's fucking funny. Female trainer is going to be Claire, of course. Yeah, there we go. Claire Obscure. That's what my friends have been telling me to play. I have not played it. That's another point here. Should I start streaming again? And if I do start streaming, like, should I play games here? I've got the Fire Emblem Awakening OST on in the background. I like Fire Emblem quite a lot, and I would not be opposed to streaming gameplay of it. Should I do that? Or should I play other games? Persona, another franchise that I'm interested in playing. I mean, I played Persona 5. I like it for the most part. I do have some problems with it, and maybe we could discuss that if I ever get around to playing it for the channel. But like Persona 4, Persona 3, I haven't played them yet, but I would like to, and that would be a great excuse to do so. I know that I was streaming Mystery Dungeon and I kind of fell off of that, but you know, we could maybe get around to that as well, or go back to it. My favorite gym leader, well, I feel like it's Claire again, isn't it? Can I even think of an argument for another one? I mean, okay, I know why you might not like Claire, is because she's like, no, I'm not going to give you the badge. You have to prove yourself again by getting an extreme speed Dratini in Pokemon Heart Gold. I think also in Crystal, which I don't know why we're complaining about that, but I like how she looks, obviously. The blue of her like dress is fun, and her master's design is what I use on my main account on Showdown. So like, come on. Should I do a different clip? Nah, we'll just keep it the same. Elite Four. That's a tough one. Bruno's kind of cool. I like that he like recurs between Gen 1 and 2. Lorelai's cool. Shout outs to Xtina again. I mean, Drake is cool as well in Gen 3. Although is he even my favorite in Gen 3? I don't like Sydney. Phoebe's kind of cool. That's how I say that character's name. I don't know if that's right. The ghost type Elite Four member from Gen 3. Agatha's cool from Gen 1. Can I even... Glacia, that's right, from Gen 3. A lot of ice types and ghost types in the first 3 gens. Falling in the back ranks there. I think Bertha's kind of underrated in Gen 4. The Hippowdon, like that feels like a Elite Four level Pokemon to bring, because you set that permanent Sandstorm. Probably might be Gen 5 though. There's some really good ones there. Grimsley's cool. Caitlin's cool. I like that Caitlin's foreshadowed in Gen 4, which I think is really, really cool. From the Battle Castle. Did I give her the nod just for that? I think I might. I think I'm actually going to do that. Caitlin, is that how you spell this character's name? I don't know how I'm gonna depict Caitlin. There's no like games that have Caitlin like that. How do you spell her name? I think it's Caitlyn. Pokemon. No, it's actually with an I. Fake fan. But how am I gonna communicate this? Sure. Postcat Ketshi. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's a Gaelic term, I think. Or Irish, maybe? I don't know. I have a little bit of both of those in my family tree, so I should know how to pronounce it. Kitschy. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you say Kate Sith, though, I know you're capping. I know that's not. You don't actually know ball. Champion, my favorite champion. Well, I could pick Lance, who is Claire's kin, but I don't know if that's my favorite champion. Okay, in terms of themes, I really like Iris's from Black 2. I think that's a really, really good champion boss battle theme. It's so exciting. I mean, Cynthia's cool, of course, but that's such a lame pick. How? Steven Stone's kind of cool as well. Although his Pokemon sets suck. That Aggron, look at it. I've heard the theory, right, that this Aggron has got Thunder, Solar Beam, and Dragon Claw. That it's designed to have the coverage to punish the the box legendary that you might bring, because Thunder hits Kyogre, Solar Beam hits Groudon, and Dragon Claw hits Rayquaza. The problem is that Aggron fucking sucks and is gonna die to any of them. Like Earthquake from Groudon, you're not taking that. Water move, Rain boosted Water move from Kyogre, you're not taking that. And Rayquaza, okay, maybe you don't have Earthquake on your Rayquaza, and it's gonna get a little bit dicey. But come on, there. you think Dragon Claw is getting through Rayquaza that easy? No way. I think Diantha's kind of interesting. She's the first to use like she benefits from having the generational gimmick, but having the Mega Gardevoir does make it feel a little bit more like a boss fight. Now, X and Y has a very, very terrible experience curve that makes you oftentimes extremely over-leveled for that. And when I saw that, and they give you Lucario as well as a Mega. And so when I saw that Mega Gardevoir, I was like, whoa! And then it died in one shot. And I was like, oh. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. Gen 7's interesting as a champion, right? Kukui, he's not really the champion, right? But he is the first person that you fight for the championship. Kind of interesting. But then there's Leon, who is fucking funny. And you know what? Having just remembered Leon, we're gonna do it. Leon, Napoleon, Total War. Now we're gonna do. Where is it? Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil 4. That's where Leon, the you know his name, Kennedy, is there. Favorite main character. I mean, they're all like kind of blank slate, sorta. I guess I'll just pick whichever one I think has the best design. Wes is cool. Wes is cool. He really is. Can I give it to somebody else other than Wes? No, it's gonna be Pokemon Coliseum. Come on, man. He blows up a whole base and rides a motorcycle, and he's got his two cats with him. Like that's badass. Professor Kukui's up there for no reason in particular. Who else is cool? Rowan's kind of cool. I like his mustache. I mean, that's... Birch is lame. He's getting bitched out by a Zigzagoon in the beginning of the game. That's minus aura. Hate to say it. I have encountered some raccoon in my day. One who is halfway hanging out of a sewer grate, which was surreal to see. But and you know, if it's rabid, that's one thing. But like, if it's not, like, I don't know. They're kind of, it is surreal to see them because they're a little more like cat-like than I thought they would, than you would initially think. They're like the size, like they're halfway between like a cat and a bear. What am I talking about? Um, who's my favorite though? Oak? Not really. I mean, Oak is cool. Don't get it twisted, but ooh. Would I go with the Gen 8 professor? Magnolia. I mean, I had to look up her name. That's not the character I thought it was. I think I'm thinking about Magnolia's daughter, granddaughter. Reminds me of a copy pasta where Sonia, that's right, where it's like Sonia and Leon, and they're supposed to be like in a relationship, but all Leon is thinking about is his Charizard. That's really funny to me. That gets me every time. I think I'm gonna go with Kukui, but I don't know how I show him. Okay, that'll do it, I guess. I could have just put black and, or sorry, sun and moon, and you would have known. But that's, we're gonna keep with this theme going here. Rival, okay. Blue or Gary Oak or whatever you want to call him is kind of, I like him as a sort of like plot device in a sense. He, because of his attitude, and he's like he is openly antagonistic to the player character. It does motivate you to want to like win, like to win the battles, because like that guy was talking all that mad shit. And like, how are you not going to lose to him? Silver, I think they overdid it a little bit, but I do like his connection to Giovanni. Spoilers, I guess. Brendan, nah. May is interesting, but not. Would I say that my favorite? No, Barry, or what is he? Platinum, I guess, if you want to call him that. The naming schemes for Pokemon is very confusing. I think he's kind of funny. I like his like joke where he says he's gonna find you a lot. And then again, it's cool when they have connections to other characters that it kind of exists, where he kind of is related to, well, I mean, he's the son of the Pokemon Frontier Brain for the Battle Tower. Just that, I don't remember that guy's name though. That's kind of interesting. Sharon's cool. Bianca, not so much. I don't really like her character arc that much. Hugh is interesting. Gen 6. It's kind of where it fell off for me. You've heard the criticisms before of the Gen 6 friends. And yeah, not a big fan of them. But, you know, it would, I think I've figured it out. It's got to be this guy here. How do I communicate Mr. Pokézet's Zetai Meku Grimoire? I don't know. That's like a deep ass cut there. How do I? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna put this here. There you go. That's my favorite rival, of course. Evil team. I hope this is good background content for those of you who are still watching. I wouldn't be mad if you got bored by this point. Look at all these cool games here that I could be playing instead of thinking about Pokemon, huh? Honestly, though, I haven't played most of these games. I played some, like Grand Theft Auto and Assassin's Creed. I like Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, like like the Ezio sort of trilogy there. That's some good gaming right there. But I have to think about my favorite evil team. Snag 'em is cool. I like that they actually steal the Pokemon, and like the Shadow Pokemon mechanic is very interesting. But Team Skull is funny. I'm gonna go with Snag 'em. Let's get Coliseum back on here. Yeah. Boop. Okay. Team leader. Now I'm not as good. Like I think who's the is it Evis? Is that the name of the leader for Snag 'em? I probably not. Maybe Egil. Maybe that as well. I think that's a Xenoblade character actually. Doesn't stand out in my mind quite the same. Like yeah, Shadow Lugia is sick, and the other Shadow legendary birds are cool, but that's in XD. I guess he's got, who does he have? Metagross in Coliseum? Maybe I should play Coliseum again to remind myself. But I'm a little more interested in the other, like the main line. And I think it's gotta be Guzma. Guzma's sick. I'm gonna go, I'll get Sun and Moon involved. Unless, is there... No. We're gonna go with Sun and Moon. I guess we'll put Pokemon Sun there, sure. NPC, my favorite NPC? Well, it's gotta be Choo Choo Charles, right? I'm Charles and I'm a heartbreaker. That's funny to me. Actually, no. My favorite NPC is the I think it's the Team Yell member who says, "I'm yelling for no reason." So that guy's hilarious. What's up with all these yellow? I don't want yellow. I want yell. That didn't help at all. I don't know how I don't know what I typed in Kiss for, because they kind of look like their face paint reminds me of like Gene Simmons. Is he here? No, I could put it. I could put in music. Yeah. There we go. You'll know. You'll know. My favorite Pokeball. I guess I haven't really put that much thought into it, but a friend of mine gave me like a plush of a repeat ball at some point, so we're gonna go with that. We're gonna get a repeat ball. There we go. That just says repeat on it. Oh, there's a Danganronpa below. I don't know what that is. I've played some Danganronpa in my day. I don't know what that is though. I don't know if I want to know what that is actually. But yeah, there you go. This has been my list here. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. It's not a fantastic visual here, but this is it. This will be the video. Yeah, please let me know more things that you want me to do in the comments. My next video is going to be a Pokemon and ADV style video. It's going to be a Pokemon that kind of completes a set. If you want a little bit of a hint there, you can go ahead and feel free to guess which one you think it's going to be. But yeah, that's going to do it. I will see you guys actually probably next on Revival Tournaments, if not on my channel. See you guys later.